Maybe you've become more sensitive to something that you do, something that you consume, and you've started to understand that it doesn't serve you, that it's no good for you. And you think about quitting. You think about no longer being exposed, or no longer deciding to ingest, consume, or get in touch with that thing, that person, that place, that whatever it may be. All I gotta say is that yes, it is a good time to wake up and to quit, to step away from things that do not support your growth, your health, your well-being, and so on and so on. But instead of forcefully going about quitting it and getting it out of your experience, you gotta understand that you only need something when something is missing. So if something's missing, then you will develop an addiction, a craving for something outside of you. For example, the main cause could be, the main purpose, the main reason could be that you do not generate enough dopamine, enough of the good hormones, the good chemicals, the feeling good chemicals and hormones, the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, and there was one more. You can do your own research on the labels, on the terms. I'm all about the chemistry, the feelings. Well, if your body and your mind do not produce those feeling good chemicals naturally, you will need something else from the external environment. Could be an addiction to anything: sugar, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, video games, social media, etc. Or social connection. Could be a lot of gossiping, a lot of needing to talk to other people, being in constant social interaction, not spending time with yourself as well, missing out on spending time with yourself. Well, as I was saying, any addiction, any craving only comes when something is missing. So it's best to understand first, to look for that which is missing. What is it that is missing? So that you can find a replacement, a better replacement. You cannot just strip yourself away from something that gives you a sense of pleasure, but it has no foundation, no sustainability. Instead, you could just look for that which is missing. And once you come to terms with, it could be that your job, for example, does not meet your good feeling chemistry in your body. You're not happy, you're not content with the job that you're doing. In which case you go home, finish your shift, and you reach for something to make up to that lack, to that which is missing. Well, the answer would be pretty simple. I guess you could figure it out on your own. Just change the job, look for something else to do, because yes, it takes a lot of your time. It takes a lot of your time. If you have like a full-time job, a standard 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, those are 5 days, which most of the time in those 5 days you spend at work. So if it isn't something that you want to do, instead of complaining about it, instead of trying to adapt to it just because you accept it, it's best to look at it, observe it, and make up your mind. Does it serve me? Does it serve the humanity? Is it contributing to the world in a positive way? If not, it's likely gonna end up with a lack of fulfillment. You will not feel fulfilled by doing something that does not serve the humanity for the greater good. Yay. Obviously, it's not only work. I just covered this topic because I know it's a big one for many people. Could be many other aspects. Could be, as I said, social connection. If the people that you are in touch with, you feel like they do not complete you, they do not inspire you to become a better you, they are bad influencers in your life. Well, sometimes I'll just leave this here from my own experience. Sometimes, most of the time actually, I would rather be in my own company. Most of the time I just want to be in my own company because the people around are bad influencers. If I were to spend more time with them, I would lose myself. And I am really looking towards health, well-being, a lot of self-care practices, a lot of creativity. And all I can say is most of the people around me, most of the people that surround me are gossiping, are wasting time, drinking, going to the pub, watching movies. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with it, it's just that I only live for the takeaways now. Anything that I do, I question it. Do I take away anything valuable to me, right? Any form of experience I get across, even if it's a bad experience, right? Even if it's a bad experience, what is considered to be bad in a sense that I'm not left feeling pleasant after having the experience. Flies in my mouth. That's what I get from nature. I sure don't mind it. I love being in nature, irrespective of any occurrences that can occur in nature. But anyhow, yeah, even if it were to be a so-called bad experience, I wouldn't mind it if there was a takeaway for me, something to raise my awareness upon something, right? Something that would help me grow, or just understand that there's something else which I have missed on in my life experience, and which I should possibly pay more attention to, right? Because I could not speak about all those things that I'm speaking about if they weren't in my experience. And because addictions have been a major role in my life experience, and I've struggled with those in the past. And well, I've invested a lot of energy and sweat into addictions, understanding the root cause of addictions, which can vary. It's a variety of reasons. That's what I'm trying to say. It could be many things for which we go into addictive patterns. As I was saying, if you feel like you need something, some form of stimuli, something that feels like it's completing or compensating for something that is missing, well, there's something missing, right? Something is missing. It's best to look for that which is missing. That's a journey. That's an individual journey, I would say. I could just guide you towards it. I could probably just give you some advice if I were to be more experienced than you within that specific addictive field. But you would have to do the work. You would have to figure it out, and you would have to man up and take responsibility for it, and understand that you are, after all, separate from me in a physical way. We are having our own individual experiences. But anyhow, not drifting away from the main topic. My main message with this video is to do not forcefully, it's not all willpower, understand that. So do not forcefully go about getting rid of the addictive behavior that you're having, getting rid of that thing that's around you, that's available to you, to use, to abuse, because that's where addiction goes, to abusing something or someone, depends, whatever your source of addiction is. There's nothing wrong with it. It happens, as I said, for a reason. So it's nothing wrong with it. It happens because there's something behind it. Just like everything else, everything happens for a reason, right? But yeah, like, get to the root cause. Get to the root cause. Understand what is missing. What is it that is missing? And only after understanding what is missing, you can find a better source of administering. I have a little lack of words right now. Yeah, when you get to that point, you can get to address it and to find something that lasts, that has a strong foundation, that you wouldn't have to be dependent on, but you could willingly choose to do or to not to do, which you would know that it brings you a sense of pleasure, a sense of making up for that which is missing. For example, as I said, if you have a lack of dopamine, if you don't have a lack of pleasure and rewards in your centers in your brain, well, clearly you would need to find an activity, find something to motivate you, to make you pursue it to such levels that you would just like lose yourself in it, and you wouldn't like complain for having to do it for any number of hours a day, any number of days, any number of weeks. You could just imagine yourself doing it for the rest of your lifetime, just like that. If that's the case, if you come across something like that, well, you partially made it in a sense, because just look at how many people struggle finding that thing for themselves. Obviously, I'm suggesting you to explore as much as you can, to try as many things as possible, just so that you come across to that thing which is suitable for you, in particular for you, because we are all authentic in our own ways, and whatever excites you may bring no sense of excitement or joy to me. It may make me curious, right? But I could simply not see myself doing that for the rest of my lifetime. So yeah, that's how it went so far. That's our topic. That's this video. Not sure if anything else comes up. Let me just check in with the divine. Nope. That about it, to be fair. And yeah, as I said, explore. Just go around, round and around. Play around with yourself, play around with aspects, every aspect of life. Just take it and hold it in your hand and just bounce it a little. See how it feels. The moment you do that, the moment you experience those things yourself, you can decide, is this feeling natural to me in a sense? Is this something that I would do? Is this something that I would invest my energy, my lifetime, my life force into? Is it? Yeah. That's all I gotta say, really. And with those being said, you know the story. Get out in nature and get the balance right before it gets you.